Before you go out to the field, there are a couple things you'll want to have with you. First, an iPad. And if you don't have an iPad, you can just use any kind of smartphone. Next, you'll want to have a soil probe. And finally, a point of reference. We like to use these R7 folders.
So today I wanted to show you how you could use some of the early in-season images with your growers. For this particular field, we already have 6 images before the field is even planted, and a lot of them look pretty much all red, so you might be thinking, what can you do with that? Well, today I want to show you. So I use the R7 Tool app to get the image. I sent it to Google Earth and emailed it to myself. So we're just going to walk through this field. I have a folder that I just use as kind of a backdrop for when I'm taking pictures, and this fancy soil probe here. So let's go. So we got to the first spot on our map. We went to a yellow zone. So lots of times when you first get to the spot, you can't really tell what's different or going on since it's your first point of reference. So what I recommend is just taking a good look, taking some photos of the ground and kind of the general area. And I also recommend taking a screenshot of where you are in the map. So to do that, you press your home button and the top sleep and awake button up here. And it will take a picture documenting where you are. And then take a picture of what you see in the field. One other thing that we like to do is pull a soil probe, so we can see the differences maybe in soil color or soil moisture. Soil profile. And what I like to do is use something like this R7 folder as a backdrop. Screwdriver. Thank you. And then we'll just take the soil probe out onto the folder. And this is why I need a new soil probe. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and take a picture of that as well. Next stop. So now we're going to head to a red part of the field. Okay, so we are now at the darkest red part of our map. As you can see, this is definitely the highest part of the rest of the field. So even though for the most part we're just moving in between shades of red, you will be able to pick out differences like this. Lots of times it will be an elevation change. So just looking at general differences, our emergence looks a little bit better. Honestly, the soil color looks kind of the same. But what I'll do is I'll take a picture of it and then I'll tie that together with my image. We'll move to the next spot, but first, let me take a sample. So the soil probe was much easier to penetrate through the soil this time, which lets me, clues me in that it's probably a little bit different soil type. And then we're just gonna kind of wiggle it out here onto my folder. Now let's move to the green spot. Okay, so we're now in the green part of our image here. And this looks to be today anyways the wettest part of the field. You'll see obviously we are really close to a tree line that does kind of hang over. And sometimes this vegetation can skew your image. But as you look at our tree line here, it obviously goes all the way to the other corner. And the green spot is just right here. So even though you can sometimes get bleed over from surrounding tree lines, it doesn't always necessarily reflect everything that's going on because it does seem to be pulling out just the differences we see here in the soil, which is pretty neat. So we'll go ahead and take one last sample. So there's our sample.
Now that we have all the information that we need from the field, what I like to do is put it together in a way that's easy to send to your grower to help communicate what you saw in the field. So like I mentioned before, there's an app I like to use called PicStitch. And what you'll want to do is choose from any of these layouts. So just choose the one you think will work best for your pictures if you have 2 or 3 or 4 boxes. And you click on the frame and then click on Photo Album. So it shows you your photo, and you can add notes. I know it's kind of obvious. Any type of information you want to add, you could type in here. And then you just position the image how you like it. Then click on the bottom frame. Again, choose Photo Album, and this is where you'll want to put your satellite image. So it's important to know where that blue dot is so the grower knows where you are in the field. And then export. From here, you can email it directly or you can send it to your photo album. I like to send it to my photo album, and then I'll probably send from the different places we collected, so the image from the red area, the green area, and the yellow area. So as we go through our camera roll here, we'll be able to see the differences. So this is our green spot on our map. Here's the red. And here is the yellow or orange color. So I think it helps when you get out of the sun. You can look at the images a little bit closer and identify some of the differences. So that's why I like to take these photos. As the crop continues to grow and develop throughout the season, we will continue to try to bring you new ways to use the in-season imagery with your growers. I hope this helped. Thanks for your time.